All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostle and elders, Great Millstone, who teach very well. While not this truth from me, salutation out there to the hopeful elect, who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And also Shalom to all the men, women, and children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And on today, man, just basically touching and getting on the vibration upon the planet Earth, man. And the vibration upon the planet Earth is basically to correct, pick up and clean up the shoddy work of these false prophets, man. So it won't be no confusion amongst the flock, Because even Yahweh Shai said that, if thou love me, feed my sheep. And we're not going to feed the sheep BS, No, we're going to feed the sheep wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Let's start off right here on Jeremiah 23, and I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, and I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. Yes, starting off the apostle elders on down, man. It says, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord. Yes, because ultimately, once you have this true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, ultimately, that comes with comfort, a peace of mind, And that's one thing that a lot of these people, again, a lot of these Israelites here in these latter days don't have. That's the reason why they're compromising their doctrine just for a couple shekels. Why? Because the scriptures is not a comforter unto them anymore. But guess who the scriptures a comforter to? The oppressed, And again, just the inspiration in this video, the oppressed and the oppressor cannot be saved together. Because guess what? There will be a conflict of interest, How will the Lord save us from the guy who been putting all this hell on us and then save the guy too? So in the kingdom of heaven, it's going to be a whole new thing. Or as you guys saying, in the kingdom of heaven, the Edomites going to have a change of heart. Ultimately, the doctrine that you pushing forth is just making more and more holes. Because let's get right here. King David didn't ask for everybody to be saved. No. King David wanted to be saved from a specific people, man. You read Psalms, the 83rd chapter, because you have to realize, yes, Israel have enemies and, we beefing with all the nations upon the planet Earth. But guess what? It's certain people that's hated more than others, man, And it's a line of mention in Psalms 83. Just check it out, man. But let's get this real quick. Matter of fact, let's get that Psalms 83 just to get the whole understanding of our enemies. Because why would the Lord deliver, his children and also deliver his enemies too? It says the elect shall scarcely be saved. It don't say nothing about the wicked. Let's get this real quick. This is the book of Psalms 83 and verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. Yes. So this is Asaph basically asking Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to basically jump in on our behalf. Because again, the times that we're coming in is really unprecedented times when the hatred of Israel shall be shown in a high level, man. You think they hate black people now? Just imagine when they see or they know that you following Yahweh Shai, that hatred is going to be more intense, Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Yes. The elites, the higher ups, ultimately, they thinking they Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai because they have us in subjection. Not knowing the Lord set you up, man. The Lord actually gave us into your hands because we sinned, but ultimately the Lord is going to deliver us from your hands, man. Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And that's it, because yes, it's a specific stigma around the children of Israel, around Yasharada. No matter if you look like a black man or no matter if you look like a Mexican, you can look like an Ishmaelite or a Moabite. If your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, no matter where you at in the world, it will be a stigma upon you to be hated. And the reason why is because you're the children of Yasharallah. It's already prophesied in Deuteronomy 28, all the bad things that was going to come upon us. Whether it be, not being able to, dwell in the house that we built in, or basically not being accepted in this society. Let's go on and continue on, though. And again, that's why it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, the children of Israel. They don't care about Ishmael and Elam or Hum. Ultimately, they help those people out. But for the nation of Israel, y'all niggas got to stay in the places where the Jews dwell. Let's continue on. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that's it. Because ultimately, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, have woke us up here in these other days. Starting off with elder high priest Abba Bivens, on down to apostle to younger brothers like me today. The Lord had woke us up from this dead estate. But Esau don't like that. Why? Because us waking up is a sign that his kingdom is going down. It's like Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is waking us up in the midst of gross darkness. But this guy is continually trying to pull us back to sleep. Whether it's pushing out a new rap album from Jay-Z or Kanye West, or whether you paying off somebody who claimed to be an Israelite, or you set somebody up. You got a 10-year plan for this nigga to do a heel turn, man. And it's sick how the nation of Israel, or people who claim to be the nation of Israel, basically be tools for wickedness. Instead of you having the puppet strings of righteousness on you, you got the puppet strings of the devil. Let's continue on though, man. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And this is the Lord naming off the people that hate us, that's trying to cut us off from being closer to him, man. Because even once you go into it, it's mostly the Moabites, the Ham, the children of Canaan, Ishmael, and even then the top of the list is Esau, Edom. So why would the Lord name these people here and ultimately he going to save them in the last days? Hell no, man. Here you go. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. And right there, it says Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. And again, it just shows you the hatred that these people have towards us. Because Lord willing, I have another video to show you guys how the nations hate us. And the nations that I'm talking about, this time is going to be the Chinese and the Japanese. Because there's a lot of racism that go on over there if you of the children of Israel. Or if you have a natural afro, they will hate you. But again, just showing you this, that how Yahweh Shai basically putting these different nations on the hit list. He's not going to change and say, matter of fact, these guys are going to get saved. No. Actually, the Lord will just preserve them for hardcore slavery. Because again, no heathen will be inside the chariot. Let's go ahead and get this real quick. This is the book of Psalms 140:1. It's a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Now, right here, why don't King David ask Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, deliver me and the evil? No. The Lord, our King David is asking the Lord to deliver him from a specific type of people, man. The people who put fluoride in your water, the people who feed you GMOs, the people who will push forth the false flag just to demonize you. This is who King David talking about. And if you don't think this guy's evil right now, just wait until the latter days, man. No, we are in the latter days, but just wait, man. As we get closer and closer to the end, the horns of the devil will show more and more. Let's continue on. It says, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. A part of the mischiefs that happened was that thing that happened in 2020. That was a calculated chess move to ultimately throw something out bigger later on down the line. You know? But again, read this again. It says, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Because again, when they pushed out that thing in 2020, who was the first people upon the list? It wasn't, let's let the white man go first. The white people first, and then we're going to go to China. No. They said urban neighbor, the elderly, niggas that's already halfway out. And then the next people they say is, the next people we want is the people that dwell in urban neighborhoods, which is mostly the Israelites. The people that dwell in the ghetto, and you go into the definition of ghetto, the place where the Jews dwell, Continuing on, though, it says, continually are they gathered together for war. And again, that war is against the nation of Israel. Let's get something to back that up, and we're going to jump back. Because the words that we're speaking, and you got to realize, man, when you go back and even into the ancient world, a lot of niggas that was in Sakari in the ancient world caused a lot of bloodshed. Because ultimately, it was a lot of people getting paid off, man, and a lot of unrighteousness going on, man. It wasn't no true righteous leadership, which caused a lot of people to be taken out. And that same thing is going to happen here in the last days, because you have to realize, man, scriptures must be fulfilled. You gotta really sit back and think about it sometimes. The Lord said, as a wave is greater than a drop. That's going to be the comparison of the people who's going to get put down and the people who's going to be alive, man. At least we have hope and knowing what's going on, but at the same time, for the ones that are without, ultimately, Yahweh Shema Shai got them out there naked. It's going to tell you right here in Revelation 12:12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. That's talking about us, the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. It says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. While the Lord is saying destruction. Why Yahweh Shema Shai is not saying salvation and to the people in the earth of the sea? No, he said, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. When you go into that word woe, it actually means destruction. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. If he know that it's going to be a short time before he be saved, why his reaction is for him to have wrath? No. He know that he have only but a short time for his kingdom to rule, man. And he's going to do any and everything to try to hold on to this wickedness. Let's jump down to verse 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. Again, now that dragon, which is a symbolic reference of this beast system today, and that woman is a symbolic reference unto the nation of Israel today. Again, if both of these two entities will be saved, why is the word wrath there, or wrath, and woe and destruction? Because again, it's a conflict of interest. If everybody can be saved, man, that would make the Heavenly Father a liar. But again, them niggas don't care about the flock, man. Continuing on, it says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So Esau, he want to wage war for the ones who have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Now we know through the spirit that the testimony of Yahweh Shai is what? The spirit of prophecy. So basically, one of the major things that we're prophesying is what? The downfall of America, man. We prophesying that this kingdom is going on, and we also prophesying that these different heathens, nations are going into slavery, man. And it's not, brother said, no, it's thus saith the Lord. So let's get this again. Which imagine mischiefs in their heart. YouTube guidelines. You setting up, you looking at the camp videos, looking at Brother Eyes, let me see who I can pay off. That was what that nigga doing, man. It says continually are they gathered together for war. That's why they're raging war against the ones that have the testimony of Yahushua. And this is a part of war, man. You know, this nigga Dickie Sakai is ain't but another Benedict Arnold. You know, one of the biggest traders in Israel. No, the biggest trader in America. He's going to be one of the biggest traders in Israel. That's if you sold out and changed the doctrine for your money's sakes, man. Continuing on, though, it says, they have sharpened their tongue like a serpent, added poison is under their lips. And it's really going into their laws and legislations. Because it's different laws and legislations set up for these people to, take you out. A thing called summary execution. Which ultimately, when you don't have to go to trial or nothing, the only thing they have to do is just say you did this and they can put you down. And these are the times that we're coming in when you have to be faithful unto death, man. And the Lord will give us a crown of life. You know? While Esau, he would get a crown of chains, man. You know? That's gonna be Esau crown. You know, the elect, they're gonna get the crowns, you know. Esau crown is going to be chains. Let's get this though. It says, keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men who have purpose to overthrow my goings. Now, our goings is basically trying to be righteous. Now, we're trying to come back upon a path of righteousness, ultimately get back into the good graces of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. But Esau wants us to shuck and jive and be a fucking jive turkey in America, man. Which that separates you from your Yahushua. Continuing on, the proud have hid a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins and snares for me. So why would the Heavenly Father save Esau when Esau is setting up gins and snares here in Babylon? The valley of the shadow of death. The only thing that this place is doing is living up to His name. So the Lord will not save the valley of the shadow of death. So that means the Lord will not save these heathens who run the valley of the shadow of death. So yeah, I pray that the video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostle and others great